Hey everybody, Steven here, and covering a big piece of news for Subnautica and the next game here. I haven't been doing videos on Subnautica just because there's really nothing to cover. They're still working on bug fixes and things like that for the game, but there's nothing like new in-game content or anything like that. They're actually hard at work on their next game, which I hope to have more news on that here in the near future, maybe an early access release date or anything like that that I could actually share with you guys. But for right now, Unknownworlds actually just tweeted this out yesterday. We are looking for a lead programmer to help the team build the tech for our next game in the Subnautica universe. That's huge, right? A lot of people have been asking, when's the third game coming out? And they're like, hey, we're going to go do this other game. And then at some point we will come back. But now we have confirmation that they are in the early stages of actually working on the next Subnautica game. Now, once you click on this, it takes you here and you can actually look at everything that they're trying to hire for this next game. So we have graphics engineer, and I'll actually make sure that a link is in the description so you guys can look at this yourself if you want to. So we have graphics engineer. We scroll down and then you can apply for that position. Lead programmer, quality assurance lead, senior 3D environment artist, senior systems programmer, senior technical artist, and I think, yeah, that is it right there. Which Unknownworlds actually just got bought out or acquired by another company last fall. That was another big piece of news. And with that, just talking with Danya, the community manager, and kind of reaching out to other members of the team, the big thing here is it gets them more resources and the ability to do more with their game. So I am really excited to see what they do with this next Subnautica game. So spoiler alert, if you haven't finished Below Zero, the way it ends with that, and if you haven't played the game, you're going to want to stop here, but I do hope that they continue Robin's story and that we actually get to go back to the architect's homeworld and see what happens with Robin, with Alan. Does he find other architects there? I could see it where it's maybe they've left, or maybe there aren't that many there, or just solving the mystery of what happened if they aren't there, if they've left, or whatever it may be, or trying to find them. I could see that being such a fun thing to do. And based off of how they actually like place their facilities on the world that Subnautica takes place in. I don't know why I'm forgetting the name right now, but with that, everything seems to be mostly underwater. So maybe they live on a home world that has a lot of water, and so that would, because that was my first thought, is like, well, if it's mostly land or it's just their structures, that's not really going to work, right? Subnautica is about being underwater, and so if we have a world that doesn't have that, how would that affect the gameplay, and would you really still call it Subnautica? But just based off of how they place their bases and things like that, I think it would be a world that has a lot of water, and so that would kind of solve that. And to see what creatures they have there, if they have any. The cool part is one of my favorite things of the game is their architecture, and to see a lot more of it, more grand scale buildings that they would have would be really, really cool. So exciting news with this. I just wanted to share it with everybody. I want to get everybody's thoughts on this. If it goes into early access, my assumption is it will. I will definitely cover it just like I did the last game. I'm really excited about that. And with this, the second we hear any news with when that may be, I'll definitely be sharing that as well. My best guess, if they're just hiring for the team, they're in the initial stages, obviously, at the earliest, a year out, year and a half until early access if we get it, or maybe not even early access, maybe like it's the first hint at early access is about a year and a half out, and then anywhere from 6 months to a year after that we would have the actual early access, and then it would be in early access for 2 years, maybe 3 years, right? It depends on the scale of the game. That's the other thing too. We go from that massive open world game that you had with the first game to a more linear story for the second, and that game, Below Zero, actually started out as DLC before it became its own full-fledged game. I hope they go back to the massive open world. Just with what you can do with these new consoles and of course PC, I am hoping too that we see a huge jump in scale, in size with that. And the graphics from Subnautica to Below Zero, which was a really big leap. It looks so good while still maintaining the style that they have with that game. So I hope they continue that as well. I really hope that they hire Alex Reese for concept art. I really hope they bring back, I'm assuming they'd bring back Liam Tart. He's another guy that does a lot of the 3D modeling and things like that. I don't know in terms of team, just because they are working on other games and things like that, how that would work, but I really like their works. I do hope they bring them back. And then of course, Ben for the soundtrack would be awesome, but I do know they like to experiment with kind of trying out and seeing what other things different people can bring to the game and to the team. So that is something else that they may want to actually branch out a little bit more. But that's actually going to be it for this one. Just wanted to give an update. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section with this. Anything like, when do you think that they would actually release any information in terms of screenshots, or when do you think it's going to go into early access? Is it going to go into early access? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you guys like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.